Hello everyone, David Lang here with my weekly fireside chat. How is everyone? I hope you're all doing okay. Is anyone there, by the way? Hopefully I have the camera the right way around. I thought I got over that particular issue weeks ago. So basically today, I'm not going to be talking about George. Hi Matt, how you doing? Mazal tov, by the way, on purchasing your new house. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law purchased a new house. Very excited for them. Hi Matt, how you doing? So basically, today I'm not going to really be talking about George Floyd. Today I'm going to be talking about anti-Semitism, what is and what isn't anti-Semitism. What is an anti-Semite and what isn't an anti-Semite. I know I talk a lot about anti-Semitism, but what prompted this particular, I don't want to call it a rant, hopefully I'm more, calculated than that, but what prompted this particular discussion today is a post on the Elder of Zion blog, the excellent Elder of Zion blog. I know Elder of Zion, an anonymous blogger. He's a great guy, a big mensch. There was a contributor to his blog who posted a few days ago basically a shit list, pardon my French, a shit list of anti-Semitic celebrities. Okay, and on this list were people who deserve to be on the list. Roger Waters, for instance, Ice Cube, who was promoting a lot of the Farrakhan philosophy of us Jews being fake and the black people being the real Jews, stuff. People like that definitely deserve to be on the list. But on that list by the Elder of Zion blogger, not Elder of Zion, but a different blogger, were people that I didn't feel deserve to be on the list. People like Natalie Portman, Jennifer Aniston, two of them, and who was the third one I want to talk about? I'll get to that later. Okay, so I want to now discuss a little bit about anti-Semitism and what is and what isn't an anti-Semite. Okay, so basically, what is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is a bit of a misleading word, or two words, depending if you put in a hyphen. I wouldn't put in a hyphen. Let's call it one word. All of this is Jew hatred. So now I'm just going to refer to it as Jew hatred. Okay? So an anti-Semite is a Jew hater. Okay? Bear that in mind while I talk. It's very, very important. Okay? So we have this list. Let's go to Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman, why was she on this shit list of anti-Semites? Because she rejected the Genesis Prize, which was awarded to her a number of years ago, on the basis that she felt it meant she had to go to Israel and should be endorsing our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who she clearly hates. Okay? That was the reason she was on the list. Now, the blogger in question, and I'm deliberately not mentioning names because I don't want to make this into a personal thing, I'm strictly going to the post itself. Okay? The blogger in question was also then in the comments was mentioning other, because people brought up other stuff, other things that Natalie Portman had been involved in. One was there was an email chain mail in 2014 after one of the Gaza wars, and she said, take me off the list. Okay, that's one example. But let's just sort of focus on the reason she was on the list to begin with, which was she rejected the Genesis Prize, and she's clearly against Bibi Netanyahu. She's also spoken against the nation-state law. Now, I completely detest Natalie Portman's politics. I think she was wrong, and it was disgusting. I used the word abhorrent. I was actually taken to task for that. But let's just say it's disgusting. Let me just, I'm going away from the barbecue and use the word abhorrent. Okay, so where was I? But that doesn't make her anti-Semitic, just on the basis of being anti-Benjamin Netanyahu. She's a dual Israeli US citizen, okay? Now, let me just quickly point out, you can be Israeli and be anti-Semitic. Ask Gilad Atzmon, who was also on the list. But he deals in anti-Semitic tropes. He's always badgering Israel, criticizing Israel, bashing Judaism, in fact. But Natalie Portman, the blogger in question hates Natalie Portman's politics. And therefore thinks that she should be on this list of anti-Semites. Now, the official reason in the comments, this blogger in question said when I pointed things out, brought up the IHRA definition, working definition of anti-Semitism, which is the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, which involves a clause which talks about if you criticizing Israel as a Jewish collectivity, I believe is the phrasing. And then goes on to say that any criticism of Israel, which is like any criticism of any other country, is okay. Something along those lines. So the blog in question used that clause to say, okay, Natalie Portman only criticized Israel. She didn't criticize any other countries. She didn't criticize Russia. She didn't criticize any other human rights, didn't criticize any human rights abusers in the world. So therefore, she singled out Israel and is an anti-Semite. And I disagree with that. And that's not the meaning of the clause in the IRHA working definition of anti-Semitism. Because, again, criticizing Israel as a Jewish collectivity, targeting Israel as a Jewish collectivity. Clearly, the Jewish, partially Israeli, Natalie Portman wasn't doing that. Again, she's more on the left wing of the political spectrum. She doesn't like our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm not going into that now, okay? But she's clearly not anti-Semitic. In fact, she's actually made other statements when she rejected the Genesis Prize, which showed very much that she really likes Israel. Her vision of Israel might be different from the blog in question. It might be different from my vision of Israel. But to smear her as a Jew hater, I'm not going to say anti-Semite, remember, as a Jew hater is really bad. It's really, really bad, and it's not accurate, and it does harm to our cause. It dilutes the meaning of anti-Semitism, i.e. Jew hatred. And that's why I wrote the post that I did on my blog, taking the blog post, not the blogger, the blog post to task. Okay? So that's Natalie Portman. Then you had Jennifer Aniston, who somehow found herself on the list. Why did she find herself on this shit list? Because she happened to like Chelsea Handler's Instagram post, which had a video of Louis Farrakhan talking about, the blacks and the oppression of the blacks. Nothing to do with Jews. As I mentioned last week, I believe Louis Farrakhan is one of the most evil people. He's the Black Hitler. He is Black Hitler. He's a disgusting anti-Semite. But the blogger in question thinks that if you retweet someone that posts a video of Black Hitler, you're immediately an anti-Semite. Now, Jennifer Aniston from Friends, very good friends, in fact, best friends with David Schwimmer from Friends, Jewish. Lisa Kudrow, who played Phoebe from Friends, guess what? She's Jewish. And she's really close friends with Adam Sandler, who's not just Jewish, but he's actually outspokenly pro-Israel and a proud Jew. And I've got all of this on my blog. Love Adam Sandler, by the way. Don't love all his movies, but I do love Adam Sandler. So Jennifer Aniston has never shown any antipathy towards Judaism, Jews, or even Israel, in fact. But she did this stupid thing. She was probably virtue signaling. She saw that Chelsea Handler, during these BLM, Black Lives Matter riots, protests, whatever you want to call them, endorsed a particular video of Louis Farrakhan, and she liked it. She didn't even repost it. She liked it. Now, should anyone that likes a video by an avowed anti-Semite be called a Jew hater? And I believe not. But I don't think... we have another video bomber. Okay, come, Mark. Just let me finish. So, we have another video bomber today, folks. Mark, you can take your mask off. Where are you going? Don't take my steaks. Okay. He's going to be in the background making bunny ears. Okay. You've really put me off my game, by the way. What was I saying?
What did I do? You
came in the middle of my video. I'm glad
said we should.
I said you should? No, I said you could. Okay, that's a difference. Okay, so we're talking about... and now my dogs are video bombing me. You see what happens? Okay, it could be worse. No, it's okay. We'll talk to you in a minute. But I was talking about Jennifer Aniston. Okay, that's right. But she liked a video. She liked Chelsea Handler's reposting of an Instagram video of Louis Farrakhan, Black Hitler. And I don't think that should tie you as... Mark, come back, because I want your moral support. All right, he's gone inside. The point being this. it's not the same, I don't think. Like a lot of celebrities are virtue signalers. Okay, they just want to paint themselves as good people. But I don't think most of them know that Louis Farrakhan is a complete anti-Semite. He's not David Duke. And that's because he's not a white right-wing anti-Semite. He's a black anti-Semite, and it's not woke to point out black anti-Semites. So I don't think Jennifer Aniston, with all the Jewish friends and never showing any antipathy towards Israel or the Jewish people, is a Jew hater. There's no way. So to put her on this list, I found pretty vile. Okay, that's Jennifer Aniston. So as you can see, I have a big problem with some of the people. Oh, the third person. Now I remember who the third person was. Yeah, come out because the dogs are going absolutely crazy because of your presence. Come over here, Mark. Come over here.
Right.
What?
I can't get it right.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So Mark, well, whatever. One day, you're there. Okay, so one day we'll interview Mark. Okay, so the third person on this list, Mark, and everyone watching, is Sarah Silverman, who's also Jewish. She's a Jewish comedian. And she was put on this anti-Semitism list. I don't know if you saw this. You even know what I'm talking about. There was a list put on a different blog, Elder of Zion blog, of anti-Semitic celebrities. And she was put on it because, why was Sarah Silverman put on it? Because she was asking for the release of Ahad Tamimi. Do you know who Ahad Tamimi is, Mark?
Oh, yes.
Shirley Temple.
Yes.
Yes.
Who has a very interesting cousin in Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Who was the Sabaro...
out murderer.
Exactly. Terrible family. I mean, really dysfunctional family, if I can put it that way. More than dysfunctional, destructive. And basically, Sarah Silverman, without knowing the facts, obviously, but she's ignorant. She's an ignorant celebrity. She asked, because it's virtue signaling. You see a kid who's in an Israeli jail and you want them out. She doesn't know the full story. So because of that, she was put on the anti-Semitic celebrity list. Sarah Silverman, who's Jewish. Sarah Silverman, who has a sister that lives here in Israel. By the way, Sarah Silverman's niece, Hallel, I won't say her surname in case she doesn't want to be identified, is very pro-Israel. Okay, I've worked with her. And she would be absolutely disgusted that her aunt would be called a Jew hater. It's absolutely disgusting to call her a Jew hater. Now, Sarah Silverman's politics, I hate, okay? But that's okay. I can deal with it. I'm secure enough in my own views that I can deal with people like that. By the way, Sarah Silverman, Mark, and everyone else, now that you're here, I can just address you. It's amazing. Sarah Silverman retweeted... Wait a second, Mark, turn off the replay of... No, how could... You're watching it live.
I saw it and that's why I came, because it's so...
You can take your mask off. You're more than 2 meters, by the way. Let everyone show your pretty face. Mark looks like Kevin... Wait, what's his name?
a lot of different people.
No, but the actor that we shouldn't talk about.
Oh, no.
The Me Too actor. What's his name?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Look at that. Kevin Spacey right there. Okay, anyway, I love the fact that Mark's here and I can make fun of him. Sarah Silverman. What was I saying about Sarah Silverman, Mark? Yeah, go on.
You were saying that her niece is...
No, very, very pro-Israel. Yeah, very pro-Israel. But she was put on this list because of the fact that she just happened to do something really, really stupid and something I really hate. But Sarah Silverman retweeted a post of mine, which was a video of Yossi Kleiner Levy, who's definitely a Zionist, loves Israel. But listen to the title of the video. Anti-Zionism is the latest incarnation of anti-Semitism. Sarah Silverman retweeted that, and she got a lot of flack for it, and she kept it up, as far as I'm aware. She actually retweeted me. Now, I'm not defending her because I'm, flattered that she retweeted me, because I criticize her a lot. But I'm saying I believe she means well, and her way of meaning well is not the way I would do things. But I don't want to tar anyone I disagree with as a Jew hater. And there's no way she's a Jew hater. She's Jewish. Her sister lives in Israel. Her niece, maybe her sister's a rabbi, I believe. Her niece is very pro-Israel, living in Israel as well. Come on, we're better than this. And the reason I felt the need to speak out about this is because I think it dilutes, if we dilute the meaning of anti-Semitism, Jew hatred, as I mentioned, that we do ourselves a disservice and it does us a lot of harm. Because the real Jew haters in the world, one of their arguments is, oh, you criticize Israel and you call the Jew hater. They use that argument all the time. And in this case, that list, they're right. the real Jew haters of the world are actually right if you look at just that list, because the person who did the list is actually just saying, I don't agree with this person's views. They're too anti-Israel for me. I'm going to call them a Jew hater. So I feel the need to speak out on this particular topic because it does us harm. And I'm someone that calls out anti-Semites / Jew haters almost every day, but I always bring proof of real anti-Semitic tropes, of real Jew hatred, and I would never, cry wolf. And a lot of this is crying wolf, to be honest. Okay, that's the first part of my rant. The second part is let's talk about a real Jew hater that Mark and I really appreciate in terms of being a Jew hater, and that's Roger Waters. Roger Waters, who recently had a very anti-Semitic rant where he spoke of Sheldon Adelson as, and by the way, he was on the list as a Jew hater, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Spoke about Sheldon Adelson as a puppet master, anti-Semitic trope, right, Mark? He also, what was the other thing that he said? Oh yeah, the Jews, the chosen people think of themselves as higher than everyone else. Anti-Semitic trope. The third thing that he said was that Zionism is a stain and needs to be removed. Anti-Semitic, to try to, promote the destruction. By the way, Zionism, 95% of Jews, Zionist, it's just saying that Israel is the historical homeland of Jewish people and supporting that movement. You look in the Jewish holy books, the Torah, what my Christian friends would call the Old Testament. Look, it's all about Israel, all our prayers about Israel. Zionism is a word that's also, like anti-Semitism, has a mystique about it that's misunderstood, used in a pejorative way. But that's all it is. Let's demystify it. It's a Jew that is proud to be Jewish and wants to live in their historical homeland. So Roger Waters is against it. So why am I mentioning Roger Waters? Because Roger Waters just actually did something I've never seen him do before. He apologized. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that.
It was quite remarkable, right?
Yes.
He doesn't normally do that. And I wrote a post about it and I said, the flying pig, but Roger Waters is known for a flying pig. He puts up a flying inflatable pig in his concerts, and many times he put one with the Star of David, which is one example of his Jew hatred, by the way. So my response to that is that his apology was pretty much garbage. One, in his apology, he says, yeah, I used, my friends in the movement said I used some anti-Semitic imagery, or I forget what the word was, imagery or metaphors, I think. Metaphors, and I shouldn't have done that. And then he went to rant against Israel being an apartheid state, and it was garbage, because one, okay, this isn't the first time Roger Waters, he just got called out in this particular rant because he went too far. In this particular rant, as I said, he was just too obvious in his Jew hatred. Normally, his Jewish compadres in the anti-Zionist BDS movement, they don't say anything. But he was just too obvious this time. He was basically saying Jew without using the J word. It was just puppet master, chosen above everyone else, chosen. It was just too much on the, his Jewish, not proud Jews were very uncomfortable with it, so he felt the need to talk. But when I did the post, I mentioned that he's always doing it, he's just more subtle. And I've got a whole YouTube video, about how he's actually a Jew hater, where he speaks in more subtle language, but he's saying the same thing. The influence of the Israel lobby. You have the inflatable pig, of course. I can't remember it all off the cuff, but it's there and it's obvious, and he's fixated on Israel. And when he speaks of the occupation, he's talking about 1948. He mentions the Nakba all the time. He's not talking about 1967. The very existence of Israel, he has a big problem with. Also, in this apology of his, he didn't address the Zionism is a stain comment, which is basically, it's dehumanizing us. Most of the world's Jews who are Zionists, as I mentioned. So it was a non-apology, but he was feeling the heat. It's good that he felt the heat, and I'm glad about that. So here's the thing. So Roger Waters is not watching this. There's no way he's watching this, right? No. At least you're watching it because you're here. Yeah. Exactly. And you're not Roger Waters, but you know what? You're better than Roger Waters. You're more important than Roger Waters. But hear me out, and maybe people can share this. Any day of the week, would challenge Roger Waters to a debate. Yeah, there you go. A bit of link bait for you. challenge Roger Waters to debate, because Roger Waters, he has such an influence because he's got millions of followers, because he's a good musician. I think he's a good musician. Come on, I'm not going to say he wasn't. Pink Floyd, great. He's a very rich and powerful man. Despite the fact that he likes to portray Jews as rich and powerful, he's richer and more powerful than 99% of the world's Jews, okay? If you want to talk about the puppet master, Roger Waters is the puppet master. Ooh, will I get into trouble for that? I have to back it up with facts. No, I know he's got a couple. He's got a Manhattan apartment. He's got one on occupied Native American land in very prestigious New York. No, I've done my fact checking. Okay, so he's a very rich guy. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't call him a puppet master. He's just an ignorant fool, but happens to be very, very rich. Roger Waters, you talk garbage about Israel and the Jewish people. So I would definitely challenge Roger Waters to debate any day of the week. Roger Waters has actually referred to me as an obscure blog. Did you know that? He didn't mention Israeli Cool by name, but Alan Parsons once retweeted a post of mine in sort of as pushback to Roger Waters trying to get Alan Parsons not to come to Israel. Alan Parsons, huge mensch, loves Israel, and he actually retweeted a blog post of mine which had a graphic in it which was Dark Side of the Moron, which I loved. Not politically correct, but come on, it's pretty good, right? Be that as it may, Roger Waters, true Jew hater, true anti-Semite. Roger Waters, any day of the week, I will debate you because you're putting out a lot of rubbish. Stick to singing in the few years you have left on this planet, and do a lot of repentance, Roger. Mark, is there anything you want to add before I sign off? Do you want to have a quick discussion about anything? It's okay?
No,
Do you want to take me to task for anything? Or?
no, not at all.
You agree?
I haven't heard anything I disagree with.
All right. No, but one day we'll have you on. But Mark doesn't agree with everything. Mark, by the way, you don't want to mess with Mark. Mark was a... Can I say what you were in the Sava, or will that put a mark on your target on your head?
I guess I've published it about it.
Right. So Mark is actually a very accomplished sniper in the IDF. He's actually published. He was involved in a rescue operation back in the 80s. What was the name of it?
The Mother's Bus.
The Mother's Bus. Tell us quickly about it. Very quickly.
3 terrorists penetrated the Egyptian border.
Yep.
And eventually wound up hijacking a bus with 10 women and a man on it. Then me and my team, I was in a unit called the Amam.
Yep.
We were called down to effect a rescue. In the meantime, they executed a male hostage and one of the female hostages, and then another female hostage was wounded by their fire before our rescue took place. Then we were given the order to rescue them, and we stormed the bus and we rescued the hostages.
Amazing.
The 3 terrorists are no longer available for interview.
Right. no longer for interview. Okay. That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one. So Mark has done a lot of great for Israel and the Jewish people, and actually we should do an interview at some point to go into it. It's a fascinating story. I hang out only with the best people, as you could see from last week, the bombers, and now we have another bomber. Actually, bomber doesn't sound good either. All right, be that as it may, I probably should sign off. I'm ranting a bit too much. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Stay safe. I read all your comments if you have anything to comment. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye.